Hello, yogis, and welcome to our Wednesday restorative practice. If you're looking for a yoga class that is going to ground you, center you, and relax you, then you are in the perfect place. My name is Jill Enticknap, and I'm the lead trainer and founder of Yogi Institute, an online yoga school and studio. And every day of the week, we come onto our mats and do a different yoga practice with a different centered focus. So today's focus, because it is New Year's Day, maybe it's a different day now when you're watching it, but just know that you can come back to this class whenever you want to center and ground down into your intentions for the year. So first we'll get clear on what those intentions are, and then we'll let them really settle in and percolate on that. So for our restorative practice, we always use props. I have a bolster, a blanket, and blocks. If you're at home, there's always an option to utilize different things from around the house. Like instead of blocks, you might have pillows. Instead of blocks, you might have books. Instead of blocks, you might have a Tupperware container. Anything that kind of can substitute in this shape. And then the same thing with the bolster. You can use a long, firm pillow, the blanket, any blanket will do. So before we get into our practice, let's come into a little visualization and focus to help us invite in and center in to what our main focus or our main focal point for this year is, this new year. We're coming into 2025. And so let's set that focal point. So come into a nice easy seat. If sitting cross-legged is uncomfortable for you, you can always sit with your legs extended out. You can also always sit in a chair too, if that's better. Ground down into your sit bones, get nice and tall through the crown of your head, and let's flip our palms palm facing down. Palm facing down. Close down your eyes and start to become aware of the breath. Feel into that natural rhythm of breath. As you come into this still posture, I invite you to ask yourself, what is my primary focus for 2025? So for me, I like to choose one word that is going to be the overarching theme of my year. And so as an example, last year, 2024, my word was pleasure. And I didn't know exactly how that word was going to manifest into my life, but how it did in reflection is I found more pleasure in my work. I found more pleasure in the food that I was eating, in preparing food. I found new ways to bring pleasure into my life. So this year, my word is community or connection. I'm still deciding between those two words. And again, it's not that I'm planning out exactly every little thing that's going to come to or result in community or connection. But I'm just opening that up to let the universe or God know that this is what I'm really focusing my awareness on and what I'm opening myself up to experience this year. So maybe there's a word that already is coming to your mind. Maybe that word is abundance. Maybe that word is productivity. Maybe that word is joy. Maybe that word is release. Maybe that word is growth. It can be so many different things, and that can manifest in so many different ways. But it's almost like asking yourself, what do I desire most? If I could choose anything for this year to be about? What is my heart? What is my higher self calling to me to create or to be a part of or to attract or to be open to? So as we come into our postures in today's class, I encourage you to come back and come back and come back to ask yourself, what is the overarching theme? What is the word for me for 2025? I'm going to let my voice fall quiet for a minute or so and just allow you to breathe here in stillness and in silence. Just stay really curious, allowing for that heart-centered answer to bubble up to the surface of the awareness of the mind. Flutter your eyes open. And let's allow ourselves to come into our first still posture. So we're going to come into our supported butterfly. And how I'm going to cue that today is to take your blocks to the edges of your mat. Those are going to support the knees. And I'm just going to fold up my blanket nice and small and place it underneath the back of my bolster so that I can create a nice little decline with the bolster. Just a little bit. You can create more if you roll that up more, but just kind of find a little bit of a decline. And then back your tailbone up right to the base of that bolster. Bring your knees out wide, soles of the feet together, and find where that is for your body. So you can place the blocks at whatever point that allows the knees to feel supported. Every body is going to be a little bit different as to how open their knees are here. Just find what feels right for you. And then we're going to lay ourselves back onto the bolster, letting the ears fall away from the shoulders. Hands come down by your side. You can flip your palms, palm facing up, palm facing down. Find what works for you. And find this nice restorative pose in your body, closing down your eyes. And come back to your breath. As you come into this still pose, I encourage you to continue to cultivate curiosity and ask yourself, what is my focus for 2025? What is my focus for 2025? And so as you ask this question in this pose, nice open heart, open throat, tilting the chin slightly toward the ceiling. Know that this answer is coming from a very heart-centered space. What is my focus for 2025? Sometimes I like to imagine that I can access my future self and think backwards. It's like the memory in reverse. Maybe we can remember forwards. I know, kind of a wacky idea. If I could be completely aligned with the person that would be doing a class on the 1st of 2026, what would this year have been about? Let yourself sit with that as we're in our reclined butterfly pose. Take 3 more rounds of breath here. With your palms facing down by your side. So like gently press yourself up. You can use your hands to guide your knees back together and take a moment to kind of pedal out those legs. And then take our blocks and just place them off to the side. We're going to take our bolster and bring it underneath our low back. You may want to keep your blanket where it is, or I recommend just shifting it off to the side. So coming into our supported bridge pose, bringing the hips on top of the bolster, letting the back come down onto the floor, walking the feet toward the hips. And then shimmy your shoulder blades underneath your chest as you cactus out your arms. Opening up a little bit more through the chest, letting the feet stay planted into the floor. Come back to your breath. Inhales and exhales through the nose. Allowing yourself to relax and So we choose a word. It's not that we have to know exactly how it's going to play out. I definitely can tell you last year I did not know. I thought I knew, but it blossomed so differently. So if you may have some ideas, you may already have some ideas as to how you can cultivate this experience into your life. And so in this moment, I encourage you to visualize those scenarios laid out in your mind's eye. So if my word is connection, there are some ways that I can see creating connection, expanding community, supporting community. So just allow yourself to kind of see those scenarios in your mind's eye kind of play out. Just see, how is this word, asking yourself, sitting with this question, how is this word going to manifest, or how could this manifest into my life? And just allow yourself to be there and connect to that visualization, allowing for different scenarios to come through. Let's take 5 more rounds of deep breath here. Press your hips up toward the ceiling, and let's press that bolster down, 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 so that it comes underneath the knees. For right now, keep the feet planted on the floor. Let that low back connect to the floor. Maybe even take your hands onto your hips and give a little press into the hips. Maybe shift the knees from side to side, feeling into that massage through the low back. And then press the bolster or the big pillow down a little bit more so that when your knees come down, they're nice and supported. The backs of the knees are supported. And for this pose, I invite you to bring one hand onto your heart and one hand onto your belly. Really looking for that release, that relaxation. I believe that there are four main pillars of life, and everything else kind of falls underneath these four pillars. And so the first pillar I see as career, vocation, what we do to make money, finances, abundance. That's one. Number two, I see relationships. And that's relationships with our family, with our spouse, with our children. It's also relationships with our friends, with our community, with strangers, with ourselves. The third, I see health and wellness, how we take care of ourselves, doing different activities, exercising, diet, what we put in our minds, what we watch, what we listen to. And then the fourth I see as our spirituality or our faith. So maybe that's religion, maybe that is spiritual, whatever that is for you, that connection to something bigger than yourself, even if it is evolution that is bigger than yourself. So as we think about this word, we can consider these four pillars and how this word, this focus, this intention can expand into these different pillars of our life. So I encourage you to just take some time and think about whatever that word is. How does it apply to your health? How could it apply to your health? For me, if I think about connection, my health, going to group classes or meeting up for walks, how do I cultivate connection in a healthy way? Maybe I have dinner parties and I prepare healthy meals. Maybe I watch documentaries about wellness, about cooking, about taking care of myself, whatever that looks like. So there are different ways that this word can expand into these different pillars of our life. So I invite you to sit for a moment and just stay curious and ask yourself, how might my focus expand into these different pillars? You can stay exactly as you are, or maybe you want to remove that bolster from underneath your legs and extend your legs out long. Maybe you want to take a full body stretch and really lengthen out, and then let yourself really sink and settle into the space beneath you. Coming into that final resting pose, Shavasana, giving yourself permission to fully release and relax and let go. Focusing your awareness on your breath, maybe lightly, gently focusing on that breath. You weren't worried. Take another full body stretch. Deep inhale as you lengthen and expand. And then draw your knees into your chest. Gently rock from side to side. Rub the backs of your legs and rock yourself up. Coming into an easy seat. Grounding down into your sit bones. Get nice and tall through the crown of your head. Let's press our palms together, closing down the eyes. Where awareness goes, energy flows. Where awareness goes, energy flows. And that's why I see the benefit of choosing a word, choosing an overarching theme for your year. It's something simple to come back to lean into, to allow to be your foundation. Now, if you don't have clarity yet of what that word might be, I encourage you to come back to this class or take some time to journal after class about what might be that word. And I want you to know that there is no wrong answer. When I came to my mat today, it was connection and community. And I checked in, and as I went through the class, I gained clarity that it isn't one or the other. This year is those two C's, connection and community. So I encourage you to share your word in the comments below. Share your word with the people that you love. Have a conversation about this. Open yourself up to see where that conversation goes. And continuously communicate with yourself and realign. Thank you for being here. I wish you such a happy new year. Come back to this word. Come back to this class. Like, subscribe, follow, favorite. Do whatever you need to do to come back to this. Maybe when you're wanting to come back to clarity. Thank you for being a part of my community. Thank you for showing up for yourself. This practice is such an internal journey, and it benefits us whenever we can come to our mats. The light, the love, the wisdom in me sees, honors, reflects, and encourages the light, the love, the wisdom in you. Namaste. I hope to see you again on your mats very soon and many times throughout 2025. Again, my name is Jill Enticknap, a lead trainer and founder at Yogi Institute. Until we meet again, may your light be your guide.